All right, it is time. This is Infinite Investment Game. I'll talk about alternative investments and collectibles. This is not particularly investment advice, but if you listen to this, you will be a better collector and investor. And yeah, I'll have my Instagram and TikTok, Infinite Investment Game, in the description below. And so this video is basically talking about greed and fear in the marketplace and when to buy and sell. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this with as many people as possible. And one more thing, I won't be doing as many videos just because I'm a full-time PhD student in neuroscience at Yale. I'm doing research and decision-making lab. I'm just gonna be busy with classes, teaching classes, research, and then getting ready for qualifying exams. So I'm gonna be busy, so I won't be able to post as much. But I won't quit, let's just say that. So here's the thing. This is the greed and the fear and greed index, all right? So there's a spectrum where you have a lot of greed and a lot of fear. And basically in the sports card market, also in the Pokemon card market, people have been buying. To make money, you have to know where you're at in between this fear and greed index. Are you high on greed and low on fear? Are you high on fear and low on greed? Or are you somewhere in the middle? It's because if you understand this, you can make smarter decisions. Because if you buy when you're high on greed, what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose a lot of money just because you're gonna be buying at the top of the market. If you're buying when it's high fear and low greed, then you're gonna be buying at the bottom of the market. So that's something that people really need to understand, but people aren't really thinking about. And when you're buying, you have to think about where people are now. Are there still all-time sales for cards, right? You have the LeBron James logo man. Did that sell for millions of dollars? Yes, it did. Is that more on the greed side? Would a greedy person spend millions of dollars on that logo man card, or a fearful person, right? We have the Mickey Mantle card, right? This card is selling for all-time highs. Do all-time highs mean greedy, or does it mean fearful? Normally, it means greedy. So if you're still seeing all these all-time highs, then we're somewhere in still high greed. We got some fear, a little bit, but we haven't even crossed the middle threshold. And then even with the NFL quarterback prospects, that's insane. Even with the prospecting in general, you're starting to see some content creators drop off and less people making content, just because those people are like, yo, I got other stuff to do and I'm not making that much money. And what I could be doing with my time, even the long term where what the cap is, I'll be better off doing this other thing and I'll make more money. I'll still be involved in the hobby. And I don't even enjoy it as much. So I think these are certain things that people need to think about. Here's something else to think about: how to know when people are greedy. How do you know when these content creators you're listening to are greedy? Here's some things. Number one, they're not open-minded. They're not open-minded at all of other possibilities. They normally think they're in that greedy mindset. They're normally thinking a company's gonna buy out something. They really just think of the best case scenario. They really don't spend much time to really consider the worst case scenario. And they're really just forward charging, buy the next thing. It's just a cycle. Yeah, it goes down, but it's gonna go back up and go back up even more. And even throughout the volatility, within a year, 2 years or whatever, which is they think is long term, but in the sports card market is after 5 years, that's long term. And that's something to really think about. The next one is thinking they know it all. A lot of people think that I'll combine the two. Is not looking and also thinking they know it all. They think, oh, well, Fanatics is gonna come in and buy up everything. For Pokemon, they think, oh, well, some of the more modern stuff is gonna, kind of dry up a little bit, but the vintage stuff is gonna keep going up. And, people are gonna get more nostalgic and more people are gonna come in eventually, and, or it'll just maintain its value. It's not gonna go down like stocks and all this other stuff. when the truth of the matter is most of that stuff is going to go down unless extremely rich people who don't have to sell are holding it. That's really the only way. And a lot of rich people have gotten out. They pumped and dumped it. They manipulate the market and they've gotten out. They've gotten out in Pokemon. Yeah, for Pokemon, you know, Pikachu can't break tear ACL or do steroids or abuse a child or a woman or, you know, do anything, lie, cheat, and steal. But people get bored. There's not that constant news of what's going on with Pokemon. Yeah, you have the chase stuff, but that gets old after a while because there's always going to be a new thing to chase, and people are going to realize that. And also, you know, these people have over 1 million blind spots. That's the last one. What's going on with greed? People have 1 million blind spots. 1 million blind spots, and it's not good. People aren't looking at the whole holistic part of sports card and Pokemon card market. You know, if you think about what's going on with BBC, with the failed authentication with the Pokemon cards, I mean, over $3 million, and you failed, like you lost someone yeah, Logan Paul got it back, but like you lost someone $3 million, right? This is high stakes. This is a lot of money at stake. And if you're gonna screw something up that important, you're gonna screw up even the lower price stuff. So now you don't have trust in the hobby and things such as that, but people all greed, they're all green, spend money, don't worry about all that stuff, and people are gonna get destroyed. You know, that could lead to lawsuits, that could lead to a lot of negativity and a lot of negative things happen. People just think just being positive is gonna save you and you're gonna make money. No. It doesn't work that way. If you're Gary Vee and you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, sure. That's the thing that people aren't realizing. Some of these people you look up to, like Gary Vee, Patrick Bet-David, the sports card investor. I don't know if he's worth hundreds of millions, but you know, Vegas Dave, if some people look up to him, Logan Paul, you know, I mean, who else? Steve Aoki. I mean, these people are worth tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. If you're worth tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, if you're like worth $50 million, you can spend $1 million on cards and collectibles. If you're worth $100 million, you can spend $10, $20 million. Gary Vee probably spent $3 million, $5 million on cards. He can do that because he's worth probably 300 million now, right? He's making at least 10 million a year off his company. So that's the issue that I think people need to understand. It's like, yo, he's making a lot of money. Like, he can spend $1 million in that year, and that's not that big of a deal. It can all go to zero, right? Because it's just 1% of his total assets. For most of these people who are putting their money in, they're spending 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million. Let's be real here. In the next 6 months, cards are going to go down. 100% cards are going to go down in price and value. And people are going to be so shocked, but that's to be expected. And I don't think people really should be buying now for most stuff, and this is extremely rare, and you're not going to see it in the next couple of years. And just all of a sudden now it pops up. If it's one of those things that once a year pops up, maybe you should buy it. But if it comes out every day, or you can see it and you can buy it right now on eBay or whatever platform, you can buy it next week, or it pops up every month, or every 2 months, or 3 months, or every 4 months. I mean, even every 6 months, I think you should not buy it. Because 6 months later, it's going to show up. 6 months later, it's going to show up. Once you start getting over a year and it doesn't show up, maybe you should probably buy it and take that risk, just because it's going to be hard to find. But yeah, people just need to understand that right now people are still greedy. Yes, things have gone down quite a bit, but people are still greedy, and they still trying to make a buck. They're trying to get rich quick. If not now, if not in the next day or week or month, now they're trying to do it in 2 years or 3 years. It doesn't work that way. Even content creators, you're not going to make that much money. Maybe 10 years of consistently doing this, you'll make money. But copying what the sports card investors doing, no, it's not going to happen. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And that is the video. Peace.